Hello everybody, I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a really lovely start to the weekend. I wanted to do a video about the power of trust. And I was just thinking about it because I work with co-creation, and it's interesting that I do work with co-creation and I'm a life coach, because even if people aren't actively trying to manifest what they want, or they're not actively in a manifestation process, we're naturally creating anyway. And so it's interesting watching how things like trust and surrender and allowing naturally come into anything that we're trying to create in our lives. And it made me think about the power of trust. Because when we're in this process of creating what we want, be that sort of in an active coaching situation or even just by ourselves, there's always something that we desire, and there's always something that we want to create in our lives. And ideally, we want to create from abundance, so from being thankful for what we already have and wanting more of it, rather than a place of lack, like, oh no, I don't have this, I want this, because then if we're coming from a place of lack, it's quite constricted. So first of all, we want to create from joy and love and abundance. And if you want some more information on that, you can see my video that I made earlier this week on creating from joy and the power of how. But then today now, I wanted to talk about the power of trust, because ultimately you're working with unseen energy. You're working with, you can't see what you want yet. And what will naturally happen is your faith will get tested, because life sort of will test your perseverance. It will test your commitments. It will test your conviction. Is this actually what you want? And it's very easy then to think, oh, this isn't for me, and I should be on a different path. And sometimes in that case, it might be true. Life might be trying to shift you more towards what's really meant for you. On the other hand, and sort of the way to know that is you'll fall out of alignment. It will feel out of alignment. It will feel like this isn't right for you anymore. And the more you know yourself, the more you'll be able to tell. But then again, the more you know yourself, the more you're able to tell when this is in alignment for you. And so you're working with unseen energy, and the thing that you want to manifest is not necessarily going to show up in front of you today or tomorrow. It's not going to show up right this minute. It might show up in maybe 5 years. And now I've been on this process of active manifestation for the past 2 years. I've always been into it, but more kind of out of curiosity or small things rather than the entirety of my life. And it has tested my faith so much more than I could have ever imagined. And in all aspects, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And most of the time, I feel like I've been walking in the dark. It's hard to see sometimes that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And then I love the expression that says, well, the tunnel is in fact the illusion we create, because the light is always there. And that makes me think then about the amount of trust you have to put into your path, trusting that every decision and every moment is going in the direction that you want. And we're needing to look for the small reinforcements that this is working, because it's very easy to look at maybe the big picture that this isn't in place for me yet. I'm maybe in quite a lot of, or someone might be in quite a lot of debt, or maybe their self-esteem is not, as strong as it could be. And in those moments when there's so much pressure, it's very easy to say, oh, this isn't for me and I'm just going to give up. And this is when your faith is going to be tested the most, and it's supposed to be. And it's teaching us how faith, like, it's easy to have faith when things are easy and you're getting exactly what you want and life is in smooth flow, but that's not always realistic. Some things take longer to manifest, and some things you need to go on a roundabout path to get you there to where you want to be, because it's more about the journey and the lessons and what you need to learn in order to arrive at that destination. And so you have to just keep rolling with things. And it's in times like these that you need to have the greatest faith and the greatest trust that you are going to be able to create the life you want, that there will be an external manifestation at the end. And again, like I said, that, it's easy to have faith when things are easy, but it's times like these that really create resilience, because then after you've created this, you're going to need to create the next thing, and that probably gets a little bit harder, and that's the way it should be. And when I say hard, I'm not saying like that life should be a struggle, because I don't believe that. I think that that's just the societal kind of conclusion, that we think we have to struggle for everything, but no, we can be in flow. There's also a sense of timing to things, like maybe what we're supposed to have is just not yet, we're not ready for it, or it's not ready for us, and we need to go through down some paths in order to get to those places. So trusting that everything is going to turn out in your favor, trusting that life does have a unique and special path for your highest, greatest good, takes enormous strength and enormous faith. And it's, again, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be a bed of roses, because yes, I have been betrayed. I have, things that weren't in my alignment have been taken from me, and I've just really had to have faith that it was all for a better purpose, that they were, life lessons and soul lessons that I needed to have in order to become the person that I'm supposed to be. And a part of this is emotional mastery, is learning how to deal with things that life throws at you. And again, it tests your faith. But I had to really come back to faith, because if I want to co-create the rest of my life, then I cannot just decide, okay, nope, this isn't for me because of that bad thing happened. I do need that universal life force energy to create the wealth and the service that I want to create in my business. And then another part of this is about, again, those soul lessons, that we do need to have, certain lessons and a certain path to get us to the destination we want to go in. And sometimes it can be complicated. We can't always see the end goal. And that's the point. We're sometimes supposed to go down different paths, different roads, like I've said. And sometimes there's just lessons that we're supposed to be picking up along the way, and having to just put the faith and the trust in it. Now, when I talk about faith and trust, I don't necessarily mean like if you need money to pay your rent, then you don't get to just sit on your butt and do nothing. You do need to be actively cultivating your own alignment, or say looking for jobs in order to pay the rent. But if you're in your alignment, you'll find the right job, or the rent will be paid. Or for example, you don't want to take on millions of dollars worth of debt that you can't pay, thinking, oh, well, the universe is going to take care of me. Because this is our responsibility. But having the faith and the trust that you are able to have this co-creation, and that ultimately things will be okay while you're continuously taking active responsibility for yourself, is what this journey is about. So I hope this made sense. I just wanted to share it because I was thinking about how much my faith has been tested, and it is really hard to trust, even though I teach this to other people. My faith has been tested on all planes. I'm still trying to get healthy after dance injuries, and I'm learning a lot about finances. I've always been pretty good with finances, but I've had to really up my game in taking on this business, trusting that the clients are going to come, that workshops are going to be filled up, that I am going to be healthy, that I'll also be able to get back to dancing, that I'll have the partner I want, that my dreams of living in different places abroad will all come true. And without that power, it's like there almost isn't anything for us to work with. So yeah, I wanted to share that. I do hope you will comment and share. I'd love to hear about your opinions and your experiences, and particularly about when your faith and your trust have been tested, or how have you been able to bring more trust to a situation. I'd really, really love to know. So please do comment below. And if there's any other topics that you would like to hear about, then definitely get in touch, drop me a line, and I'd love to do some more videos. And then another exciting thing is that my Facebook Inner Journey is almost ready. We're going to go live in the middle of next week, and that is about co-creating. So getting to know what you want, sitting with yourself, and learning how to manifest that, to co-create it, which means to allow these things to come to you. So definitely we're going to be looking at trust in that journey, and I'll be putting up the links as soon as we're great to go. And have a fabulous rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for watching.